Joining us on the Halford and Brough Show on Sportsnet 650, as mentioned, Marty McSorley here on the Halford and Brough Show. Morning, Marty. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's nice. Actually, it's nice to be back in Vancouver under different circumstances.
I was going to ask, so is this like the first time you've been back to Vancouver doing media, appearing on Sportsnet 650, your home of the Canucks? Have you been back since the incident 24 years ago with Donald Brashear?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the people in Vancouver, what was really, even during the trial, that so many of the people on the streets and whatever, they're like, leave them alone, right? They're like, come on, let's be real. And so the whole thing leading up to it and everything, it served a lot of masters, but the vast majority of people were really, really great to me. The vast majority of people, I know I'm a huge hockey fan. They're a hockey fan. I enjoy going to games, partaking in conversations, and listening to the people that pay the tickets and go to the games and support the game and hear what they have to think.
So what did they tell you about the incident?
Well, it's so funny. I mean, there's once they know a little bit about it, from a standpoint that I wasn't angry. I mean, when the linesman and I came together, I was like, listen, Mike, I said, I don't want anybody to be hurt here. But nobody ever carried that. Or the league office saying he never hit his head on the ice. Absolutely not. And nobody sent him out to fight. He did this all on his own. All of those things just pointed to the fact that, okay, all right, let's people skirting away from it or running like rats to their holes. Let's be real about it. And I felt bad, like when Todd Bertuzzi went through his situation. The media called me and I said, listen, Todd Bertuzzi didn't mean to happen what eventually happened. Like, he went on the ice to do his job. And don't think he wasn't put on the ice to do his job. And I think people appreciate it. I know Todd did.
It sounds like you still blame Donald Brashear and others besides yourself for the incident.
No, not at all. Here's the thing. I'm put on the ice with 22 seconds left to make Donald Brashear fight me. That's my job. Everything that led up to the fact that our goalie got hurt and put out for the rest of the season. I remember sitting on the bench. They scored the empty net goal to make it 5-2. And I'm like, oh, my God, why are they putting Donald Brashear back on the ice? Why would Mark Crawford do it? He turned to our bench and smiled. And so it forced Pat Burns. He ran down the bench and said, get him on the ice. Get him on the ice. Me. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I don't know if people know this, like what happened. When I gave Donald Brashear a whack, for him to turn around and fight me and stand up for, he if I would have waited till after the buzzer, I'd have got a 10-game suspension.
Well, you got a bigger suspension because you whacked him in the head.
No, did you? I mean, if you watch it, if you go in the video, which the court threw out, wouldn't accept, the stick hit him on the shoulder. He turned hard to his right. His shoulders were at his right shoulder dipped really far down to the right. The stick hit him on the shoulder. You could see his jersey gather up. The part that hit him in the side of the cheek was 1.5 feet up from my blade. I didn't come up over the top. I came up from my waist to whack him in the body. And there's guys sitting on their bench. It happened in front of their bench that are sitting there yelling and screaming. It all happened so fast. I never had any intention to hit him in the head. And we had a gentleman, a expert in biomechanics, that they wouldn't let him testify, and they said he was no way an expert.
Yeah, because the judge disagreed with your assertion that you were aiming at his shoulder, and the judge said Brashear was struck as intended. So what were you aiming at?
I was whacking him in the body to get him to turn around and fight. I was hoping he would turn around and fight. He wouldn't. He didn't. I'm running out of time. Like, I had the puck behind the net. I don't know if you remember this. I had the puck behind the net, and I'm holding the puck. Donald Brashear comes in front of our net, smiles, and turns and starts skating the other way. Didn't even come into the puck.
So?
Like, I held the puck waiting for him to come to me. Now I got to go after him because I'm put on the ice to do that job. Like I said, our goalie got hurt by Donald Brashear for the rest of the year. He was challenging our bench. Our coach was losing his mind. And I remember saying to our guys in the bench, just relax, calm down. Like we were down 4-1. I assisted on a goal with eight minutes left in the game to try to get us back in the game. And then all of a sudden, they score an empty net goal. They put Donald Brashear on the ice. They jerk me off the bench, put me out in a position I don't play. And now I've got to get Donald Brashear to stop, turn around, and fight me before the buzzer rings.
It sounds like you've gone through the explanation process a number of times and that you've got a lot of this committed to memory. How much pushback do you get from people when you take this particular tact in explaining and defending the actions of that night?
See, no, I really don't. I mean, this is the first time in a long time that anybody's ever brought up. Do you know that so many of the tough guys went up to Donald Brashear after the incident and said, don't be such a coward? Because from their standpoint, if Donald Brashear would have said, it's part of the game, it happens on the ice, we'll look after it on the ice, never would have gone to court. They'd have had to throw in a note.
So what kind of a reaction do you think you're going to get from the Vancouver Giants crowd tonight?
Oh, listen, I mean, the fans, the hockey fans are great. They really are. I can tell you where the pushback is. Not unlike anybody who's maybe sued the NHL or different things, anytime that anything happens where the NHL wants to distance himself, it's hard for those people to be accepted back into the game, which I get. And I can give you a plethora of instances that nobody really wants to talk about where players don't get job offers, interviews, all the rest. We know that, and that's okay. But the public are awesome. They really are. The media sometimes are really funny because they push a point, right? You got to remember at the time there was nothing else in sports going on, so it became such a media blitz. I remember being really surprised by the amount of media on it. There was the NFL was done. Spring training hadn't started. There was no conference basketball championships at that time. They hadn't started doing them yet. There was nothing else going on in sports. And I remember, wow, I said, I see what they're trying to do. I'm not sure they picked the right instance. So I'm not, in a sense, defending I just tell them the truth. And if people accept it, they accept it. If they don't, they don't. That's okay. I'm a big boy. Did I like what happened? No. Did I intend what happened? No.
Have you spoken to Donald?
Steve Hines. Steve Hines, my teammate. He was like, big boy. He goes, I really feel bad for you. He goes, I knew why you went on the ice. I knew what you were trying to do. He was sitting on our bench. He knew everything. He goes, this is a joke. And that was one of my teammates, right? And now, I mean, one of your teammates is going to support you, but Steve Hines is a pretty honest guy. So that I'm comfortable with it. I rarely ever have to defend it. The hockey public, I do a ton of events all across Canada. I do a ton of events where we put helicopter pads into towns. We put MRI machines, CAT scan machines. I go into these towns all through Saskatchewan, Alberta, and the Maritimes, and I really enjoy it. And the people are honest. They're very matter of fact, and they're wonderful.
Have you spoken to Donald Brashear at any point over the last 24 years?
No.
If you were to speak to Donald Brashear, what would you say to him?
It would be different than if, like, Sandy McCarthy and I had a number of fights. Proby and I had a number of fights. And I saw those guys, spent time with them, and I really enjoyed those guys. And those guys, we understood each other. We performed on the ice. We stood up to how the guys like Clark Gillies and Dave Semenko before us did their job. And guys like Gino Wajcik did his job with class. A tough job, a very tough job with class. Not sure. Not so sure about the other one.
If you could go back to February 21st, 2000, what would you do differently?
I would have cross-checked him and made him turn around and fight me. But I couldn't get to him because that was my job.
Well, Marty,
and it was interesting. It was interesting. My hands were a foot and a half apart. I mean, you can go back and look at how many other where guys come up over the top with their hands together. Mine weren't. Like, it didn't break the skin, didn't break his cheek. In the league, to say his head didn't hit off the ice. I mean, all of those things, you're just like, really? Let's put all the facts into a jar and everybody look at them, rather than not. Like, we couldn't even get the video of it. My defense team.
I think I might know the answer to this, but I want to hear you explain it anyway. How much has this affected your life over the last 2+ decades?
No. I mean, like, trust me. I'm going to be honest with you. People in the media make it a big deal because for them, that's what they want to talk about. And I kind of laugh and shrug my shoulders and say, fine, have your fun. Look at it honestly, though. My only thing is, if you look at it honestly and then you come back and say, well, we don't believe you, but at least believe the facts, right? And if you look at the facts and then come back and go, okay, right? And I mean, it's a tough job done at that time by a lot of players put into really difficult positions night in and night out. And, here's a question. How many tough guys, real tough guys, when they retired, were they celebrated? Very, very few.
I'm looking at the video right now, Marty, and it's like, I don't...
Hey, listen, I got a question for you. Is this interview about the Donald Brashear incident, or are we going to talk about the Vancouver Giants, why I'm here? Like,
wow. I mean, why do you think you're here? I mean, this is the promotion for the game, and I think it's going to be a very interesting reception for you tonight.
I'm here supporting 16, 17, 18, and 19-year-old kids with a really great organization that's developing kids, getting them ready for the NHL. I'm going to go in their locker room and shake their hands and say good luck and tell them don't miss an opportunity to get out there and challenge yourself. Go out there and play. Talk about the fact that I wasn't drafted to either junior or the NHL, but I had to fight my way in there. And I went out the same way I went in. That's why I'm here. I'm here with Archie Henderson and Bill Goldie. And these guys, they did a really, really hard job for years. And if truth be told, some of the things that have happened to so many of the tough guys, if it was ever publicized, I mean, people go, oh, my God. Right? But it was just, we looked after it on the ice. And so that's not why I'm here. I'm not here. Now, when I go into Lively, Saskatchewan, or Shaunavon, or Fort McMurray, do people want to talk about fights? Yeah, they absolutely do. They want to talk about my time with Wayne Gretzky? Yes, they do. Do they want to get my take on who's better, Mario Wayne, or, playing with Mark Messier or Ray Bourque, or all those guys, are playing against Guy Lafleur, or playing in the first outdoor game ever in Edmonton? That stuff comes up. It's the media.
Well, let's kind of recontextualize that, because you are here is something called Legends of the Sin Bin, and in the release, it's penalty box hero Marty McSorley. I don't think it's in any way, shape, or form out of line to ask a question about one of the most infamous penalties in NHL history.
No. But I don't want to dwell. We don't want to dwell on it, right?
No, but we're mostly diving into it because I didn't realize that you hadn't spoken about it that much. So we're just trying to talk about it as well. To be perfectly honest, when we were looking it up last night and doing research for the interview, there wasn't an awful lot of anecdotal stuff from you or Brashear in the aftermath. So this is a sort of first-time element for a lot of us.
A lot of the comments that I made and things that happened were never really put in, right? They just, I'm like, okay, where's this? I'll give you for instance, a week and a half, 10 days after the incident. Like, did they ever say Don Brashear has a broken jaw? Or, like, what happened was they said, oh my God, he two-handed him over the head. Well, it come up off his shoulder and hit him in the side of the cheek. He went down, hit his head on the ice. He got a concussion. Not anything anybody wants to see. Not something that I wanted to happen. And those are the actual facts. Whether you think I did it on purpose or not, anybody can have their own opinion. But for people to say two-handed him up over the head, that's not true. At the same time, did he break his teeth bone? No. Did he get stitches? No. Did the stick break? No. Did he hit his head on the ice? Yes. The league said, well, we're going to now make a new chin strap rule that chin strap has to be 1.5 inches from the chin so that the helmets don't come off. They made no reference to Donald Brashear's helmet, and that's the reason why they put the rule in. The next September, Paul Correa got a match penalty for attempt to injure in an exhibition game. And the comment from the league office is, don't worry about Paul Correa. What Marty McSorley did is the worst thing in NHL history. I'm like, really? To me, that's comical.
Well,
right?
Marty, we do want to thank you for taking the time to do this today. If it didn't go in the direction that you thought it was going to, I apologize, but I feel like everything that we asked was more than fair game and within the bounds of what's going on.
Listen, I'm not shy about you asking about it, but let's focus on the Vancouver Giants. Let's focus on the fact that these kids are people coming out to the game. The building I was in is a beautiful building. The team is developing NHL players. It's a great place for these kids to come and play, for families to let their 16-year-old boys go and try to follow their dreams. That's where I think the focus should be.
Well, with that, I'll close by saying that you will be there tonight at the Langley Event Center. The pregame hot stove begins at 6 o'clock. If anybody wants to attend, go to the Vancouver Giants website, find out more. It's Legends of the Sin Bin Friday with Marty McSorley, Archie Henderson, and Bill Goldthorpe. Marty, thanks for doing this today. We do appreciate it.
Okay. All right.
Marty McSorley here on the Halford and Brough Show on Sportsnet 650.